first time we've ever done third reef.
Yeah, first time we ever done third reef, and we did it at night in 30 knots.
Heeled over.
Just try it out at another time if you get a chance.
Yeah.
After getting married in charming Carloforte in Sardinia and fixing our boat crash damage, we can finally make a temporary fix on our ripped out chain plates. We need a quick, reliable solution that allows us to sail away from the Mediterranean islands, where haul-out costs are very high, before ordering new external chain plates and all new standing rigging. We decide to through-bolt the existing chain plates through the hull. We start with taking the old chain plates out and inspecting them. Then, we free the chain plates from the fiberglass and the inadequate knee. Next, we remove the sealant and fiberglass from inside the hull to create a smooth surface against which to install the new knee. Then, it's time to fit our temporary Iroko and Pline knees and attach them to the chain plates using 8mm bolts. Next, we stick lots of layers of masking tape to the area where we are going to drill to collect the fiberglass dust, which could go into the sea. Then we drill through the hull and insert bolts to keep the chain plate in position. Time to free the old backing plates from the fiberglass knees, clean them up and turn them into temporary external backing plates. Even though it's a temporary fix, we don't want skua to look ugly, so we spruce them up a little by giving them a reasonable shape. Then we cut out a little notch of rabbing strake that's in the way of the external backing plates. Finally, we fit the external backing plate and seal everything up. The hole on deck, the holes in the hull, the knee and the external backing plate. Eventually, we'll reuse these holes to mount external chain plates as a permanent solution. Over the next week, we repeat the process for the other 3 chain plates that had been installed in the same way. Now, skua is ready to sail towards the cheap yard where we can do a full re-rig and a bottom job. Before setting off, we also take time to varnish the tiller and add 2 Turk's head knots to it. We also make an anchor riding sail because the Mediterranean is very windy during a change of season, so we're ready to endure some strong winds at anchor. It's a stunning autumn morning and everything should be fixed on the boat. I'm touching wood with my feet right now and we're ready to go. So yeah, we're gonna get the boat ready and set off. It's October, the beginning of the low season in the Med. Most cruisers have already hauled their boat out or pulled into their winter berths because the weather can be pretty nasty between October and April, as we have experienced before.
Because we've been in the marina for about a month now, and marinas are really bad for fouling the bottom of your boat, we're going to go into an anchorage and give the proper quick clean, just to make sure there's no barnacles and stuff on it that will slow the prop down.
There's been one mistral after the other in the past 3-4 weeks because we've been monitoring the forecast, obviously, because we wanted to head west, and so we figured, because it's the shoulder season, so it's beginning of October right now, and that means that the Mistral blows more often and stronger than usual. So just 2 days ago it was blowing 50 knots in our little marina. So we have figured that the only way to go west is to use the day between Mistrals, which is today. So we're gonna motor probably most of today, and then we should be able to get the beginning of the next Mistral and use that to get to shelter in the Balearics. So that's basically the plan. Weather windows are short year-round in the Mediterranean, with the wind staying favourable only for 1 or 2 days at a time. But now they're even harder to find, so we need to use the wind we can while staying safe. While Ryan is in the water scraping the prop, I'm just gonna put up the spray hood because it's gotten quite chilly since we were last out, and make up the beds.
Having cleaned the prop and given the bottom a very quick scrub in the anchorage, we've now gained about a knot of boat speed. It was pretty bad, the bottom of the boat. The prop wasn't actually that bad after all, but I've also got the hydrovane rudder more lined up, because you have to, on our one, you have to kind of get it right in the middle, or it steers to one side and then the boat tries to steer the other side, and then that just slows down the boat as a whole. But yeah, we're now getting out onto the open sea. There's a tiny bit of swell, but we've left Carloforte behind.
Yeah, it's a bit sad because we got married there and we've had our families there, the only place where all of our families have come to see us, so it's a bit of a saddish day, but we're really excited to head west. Super excited. The boat crash and the chain plates accident slowed us down by about a month. But now we also have a complete re-rig to add to our boat jobs, so we're still unsure whether we can make it out of the Mediterranean on time to cross the Atlantic Ocean and sail to the Caribbean. It's safe to cross all the way until April, but we expect to take a couple of months to do boat work and a couple of months to sail from Sardinia to the Canary Islands, as good weather windows are harder to find in winter. This means we need to get moving fast. We really don't want to spend another whole year in the Mediterranean. We want to do some ocean sailing and chase the endless summer. It's still warm in southern Sardinia, so we enjoy the hot sun while the wind is light.
Come on.
Did you get a shot of my new lock?
No, I didn't.
Let me pull it up.
There we go. This is Ryan's new fishing lure. It was his birthday present.
So it's like a fish being eaten by a squid.
Yeah, there he is.
Yippee!
Good luck.
We're aiming for the Balearic Islands, either Mallorca or Formentera, depending on how the forecast evolves. This means sailing between 300 and 350 nautical miles.
So cinematic.
Don't be scared when away, paralyzed as you stayed at the gate.
So we're settling into the evening. The sun's just about to go down. I'm actually off watch at the minute, but I just came out to see the sunset. And yeah, there's a tiny bit of breeze, so we might try setting the sails, but it's pretty fickle light winds at the moment. But it's really nice evening. We saw some fish jumping around earlier, but sadly nothing on the fishing lures. We're pretty hopeful though, pretty optimistic. We caught a tuna out here in the spring, so maybe we'll get another one if we're lucky. And yeah, we can't see Sardinia anymore. It's completely disappeared over the horizon, but we're not that far into the journey really, so we won't get into, well, we'll get into southern Mallorca area, not tomorrow, but the day after, sometime around lunchtime. And then we'll probably carry on to Formentera, because there's a really nice anchorage there that we like, and it'd be nice to spend some time there. Been a pretty nice night, pretty uneventful, not much traffic around, loads of stars. We've had a reasonable breeze, but it's kind of coming and going, so sometimes it's down to like 7 knots, in which case the sails aren't really doing much, and then sometimes it's up to sort of 15, 16, 17 knots, but like in like 2 minutes it'll go from one to the other. But at the moment the engine's off. We've got one reef in the main because it picked up to 17 knots, and I always try and think, if there was like a 10 knot gust right now, would it be out of control? And with the full main up, it would be. So I put a reef in the main and we just got the main and staysail.
Good morning, I'm back on watch and it's a really lovely early morning. We're still under sail, which is really nice. Same conditions as last night, very fickle, and so I'm leaving the sails as they are. I don't want to deal with the gusts that come and go, and yeah, I'm happy to do with 4 to 5 knots, no biggie. And the sea is still really calm, which is really nice, but there is a mistral forming north of us. It should be by now starting to form, so I think this is the first breeze coming out of it, out of the Gulf de Leon. Yeah, so as long as we can keep making progress towards our destination and get into the Balearics on time to shelter from the strongest bit of wind, then we should be alright. We love the routine of sailing offshore, keeping alternating watches. It's hard to get into any sort of routine while living on a boat, because every day is different. You could be working, sailing to another anchorage, provisioning, meeting new cruisers, doing boat work and more. On this passage we do 4 hours on and 4 hours off. During our downtime we just relax and catch up on sleep. It's easy to get into the rhythm of the shifts, and we look forward to meal times because they're the only time of day we spend together. While sailing offshore, we keep a detailed log. We write down our speed, position, distance covered and weather conditions. This passage is going great. There is more wind than forecast, which means that we're sailing a lot more and at decent speed. And yeah, I managed to get some sleep today because I couldn't really sleep last night, and that was really nice. Now we're just having some lunch, which is like melted cheese in wraps, which is our go-to. Really easy, nice, warm filling meal.
Everything is messed up and it feels like no one cares. Turn this way.
It's dinner time on day 2. The engine is back on since about an hour. The wind has died down and there's left quite a big swell, so we are trying not to smash the boom too much. Ryan is making gnocchi. There's a really stunning sunset, and yeah, settling in for another night underway. been a pretty uneventful night so far. This is the first ship I come across on AIS, and they've done all they could to avoid us. Been keeping an eye on them ever since they've come up on the screen, and I have been staring at their lights for the past 20 minutes or so, but they are behind us now. As soon as they pass our stern, I'll keep less of a tight watch. This is my 3rd hour on watch, and in about an hour I will wake Ryan up and get some sleep. Good morning, it's day 3 and we have about 32 nautical miles left to get to Cabrera, and we hope to get close to it and pick up signal for an updated forecast so that we can decide whether to continue on to Formentera. Since I last spoke to you guys, we've had some incredible sailing. We are on a very broad reach with about 15 knots of wind, and yeah, I've got both sails out, and it's really lovely light wind sailing. Incredible.
It was a bit of a sad day on Skua today. We put out the fishing lures just before sunrise because it's quite a good time for trying to catch fish. The line with my new lure on, the one that was like a squid and a fish, like a fish being eaten by squid, which was really cool, the line just twanged, and when I pulled it in there was no lure on the end of it. We've been going past Mallorca most of the day. Eleanor first saw it in the binoculars at 8 AM this morning when I went down to try and get some sleep, and it's still in view now, sort of early afternoon now. Yeah, we went to some really cool places on Mallorca on Kittiwake. Kind of sad not to stop there, but we've got places to go, you know. We've got to make up time. Got to get to the Spanish mainland, got to get to Gibraltar, then to Portugal, then to the Caribbean. And if we want to do all that, well, we haven't got to do that, but we want to. So if we want to do all that, then obviously we need to be cracking on and trying to get there. I've been using the past couple of days as a bit of testing for our hydrovane. We were having some problems with it in the spring, especially the fact that it couldn't overcome the boat's weather helm, which partly is down to, I think, the fact that our main is just too big, and partly the fact that the previous air vane, which is the, try and get that, this wooden bit, was really small for the hydrovane, and especially for this size of boat you obviously need quite a lot of power to steer a long-keeled boat. Yeah, I've been playing around with that quite a bit. Yesterday I didn't have much luck. It was still in the gusts, the weather helm just gets too much and the wind vane can't overcome it. You have to basically account for that weather helm with the main rudder, so pulling the tiller more over to windward. Today it's doing a lot better, which is reassuring because these are the kind of angles we'll be sailing on the longer passages to the Caribbean. I want to get it really sorted. I might also build a lighter non-plywood air vane.
So we managed to catch some 4G to get the forecast, and it still looks good. So we can continue on to Formentera. It doesn't look like we could just sleep and then keep going, unfortunately, but there's worse places to get stuck in. So we're really excited to actually go back there and go for a dip in front of the sandbar, it's going to be pretty magical, I think. So yeah, we'll probably spend a few days anchored around Formentera because the wind is changing all over the place, but yeah, it'll be a really nice stopover on the way to Jib. No, serious! Oh! Wow!
Trying really hard to get off there.
Yeah, I see that. Wow, no, don't fall. No. Bloody hell. Come on, Ryan. You can do it.
Yeah, keep up.
I think so. What do you think? It's the boat. The hook is need it. No! There he goes. Wow. Yeah, it's decent size. So the thing is there.
Unless it's cloudy or rainy, you can always count on a stunning sunset while out at sea. As we neared Formentera, the wind started building to a lot more than it was forecast.
How's your evening on Skua?
It's pretty exciting. We've had anywhere between 27 and 35 knots of wind. So we're both up in the cockpit, and yeah, we're running with a third reef in the main and part of the staysail.
First time we've ever done third reef.
Yeah, first time we ever done third reef, and we did it at night in 30 knots.
Heeled over.
Just try it out at another time if you get a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like we are under control, like the boat is moving really nicely across the water, and
It's just a bit loud and bangy downstairs.
oh yeah, it's horrible down there because the waves are quite high and at very, very short intervals, so it's not very nice. But yeah, up here is quite okay. Yeah, we have 23 nautical miles until we reach the southern end of Formentera, then we jibe, and then at some point after maybe another 20 miles we should be in the lee of the island,
Yeah.
which should do for a much nicer sailing, hopefully.
Are you looking forward to jibing in 30 knots?
No,
I think we'll furl the staysail
yeah,
and then jibe the main and then unfurl the staysail, just so we've only got one sail to deal with.
yeah, I think so.
Maybe
too.
one steering and one on the main sheet.
Sounds good.
Daylight brings relief after sailing in high winds for much of the night. Being able to see the waves makes a big difference. So we made it.
Yep. We're in Anchorage on the west side of the Formentera sandbar, and we spent all day, well I spent all day sleeping and then I spent all day tidying up. Worked out quite well.
Classic passage arrival
Yeah.
routine.
It works for me. Seems to work for you as well. And yeah, it's really nice. It's cloudy today, so the water doesn't look as spectacular as when it's sunny, but there's still quite a few boats around. Nowhere near as many as when we were here in May or June on Kittiwake. May, I guess.
How you liking the mahi mahi?
It's delicious. Really nice. It's a white fish, so it's not like as flavourful as, say, tuna. But yeah, it's really tasty. Goes really well with this rice, and especially with the butter. And yeah, I think we'll just chill out for the rest of the day, maybe watch a movie and get an early night. So I still feel like I need to catch up on sleep. And I guess you're pretty tired.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our channel, please consider supporting our production on Patreon or buying us a beer via PayPal. Join us next time as we get chased by the wind around the Balearic Islands and we try to dodge a very scary forecast.